Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Wednesday. It's December 13th. This will be our chart listing for the day. And real quickly, just a reminder, this is going to be my last week to work for 2023. I'm going to take the rest of the year off, take the last 2 weeks of the year off. I usually do that each year. The market kind of gets slow, and I mean, the day was a great rally day, but of course we had the FOMC news, and there's kind of some good news there that they're going to start. They're talking about maybe 3 rate cuts in 2024, which would be great to kind of stimulate things, housing market maybe again, some other things. But something interesting here, we finally did put in a new high for the contract, and that was my target. Was the first one was a measured move here, which we easily surpassed that, and now we have put in a new high. Will we go higher? I just don't know. But we do have a new high in place now. So we had the break of this contract, a big correction, and this is obviously looks like a retest. Now it could be a second leg up, and if that's the case, we got a long, long way to go up. It's always possible that we're looking at a second leg up. So I say a long, long way. We've already moved a long way, but that gets us to over 4,900, and we're currently at about 4,750. So another 150 points higher or so, 180 points maybe. I just did the quick math in my head, so I could be off a bit there. We'll see what happens. We could easily, we're getting back into overbought territory. Now you can stay overbought longer than you think you can, but usually when you start to get up in this overbought, you're going to get a correction pretty soon. So are we ready to correct some now and have a correction, or we're going to continue higher? I mean, this market wants to go higher, at least it's wanted to, but if you follow the price action, it says it should be going up, and that's what it's done. Against all the news, against all the negativity that's hanging out there, this thing has rallied, which is what you would expect it to do. Retest of these highs after the break of this trend moving up. So we'll see what happens. But again, tomorrow will be the last chart lesson for the year, and I'll pick back up after the first of the year, first work day after the first of the year. If I remember correctly, I believe the first falls on a Monday, so New Year's Eve will be on a Sunday, and the first will fall on a Monday. So most likely I'll be back in the office on that Tuesday. It's a possibility I'm going to Orlando to the Peach Bowl, which will be on the 30th, and we may not get back. We may not come back till the 2nd if I go. I haven't made up my mind yet. If I do go to the Peach Bowl, it might be Wednesday before I'm back in the office. So, but as of right now, I'm planning on being back in here Tuesday, and we'll just see what happens. But let's get to the chart lesson. Let me go back to the. We've already seen the daily chart, so. And here's where you had to kind of sit tight during the news item. You want to be out an hour prior, which is right here. And you can see the news. It shot straight up, and then it rallied all day from there. We had a break way back here that just kept going higher before it turned. Made a couple of legs down, and then started back up again and closed darn near on its high for the day. So this thing's bullish right now. What will it do tomorrow? We'll have to wait and see. But there it is. Let's back out. There wasn't a lot going on early this morning. Real low volume early on. And it kind of picked up. I mean, I guess most people were probably waiting for this news item, and you can see they poured in on that news. So the blue, or where you had to really be sitting on the sidelines. I mean, I basically just blanked it out for 5 minutes here, and it was kind of back to normal after that. So it's rallying high, but it's not this craziness like you get right after the news comes out. But I'll take that as good news. The market, the fact that they may have 3 rate cuts next year, so that should definitely help things. But anyway, let's go through the trades. There was a 7:30 news core PPI, and so you really had to wait till after 735 or 740 or so to start trading. And notice you got a 1, 2, 3 triple test. Now it's making lower lows and lower highs each time. This actually broke higher and turned down. You could trade that on the engulfing bar. It's a little bit congested, but you're so far away from the EMA. Odds are it's coming back to the EMA, and this thing ends up taking off. So if you took that trade, it's maybe an all you need. You could have been done by 8 o'clock, 8:30 anyway. That's a really nice move. Just assuming you entered on the engulfing bar. I mean, if you waited on a break above the first bar that closed outside, that would be here. So there's almost 7 points. Quick, easy move there. Right out of the gate. And we're just chopping along here, nothing. Same thing here. It's just we got this weak down move. Gets a close outside, move to a new low. This would have been nice if it would have engulfed this bar, but when it couldn't get above all the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, you just can't go long there. Try to go higher 5 times. I mean, you're just going sideways. That's not rejection. So you just have to sit tight and hope you get something else, and then you get a 1, 2, 3 triple test here. I made this one green, but I really like it. But it's right into the midline. We did just push higher and pull back and try to go lower again and couldn't. And you get a very nice signal bar. So, I mean, that's real close to being blue. Only thing I don't like about it is there's some resistance across there. We did just push through, so most likely if it breaks higher again, it's going to go at least retest that high, and you got plenty of room to get out there. So off it goes. And you actually get a triple test here, but the signal bar is no good. Just a first entry here. I think this broke higher, but it doesn't engulf. I know it broke higher, but it doesn't engulf. So on this one, it broke lower, and so again, it doesn't engulf. By that time, it's congestion, so just sit tight. And then notice you get a failed second entry long right here with a nice signal bar, and that does confirm that trend line. Notice the new high, first entry, and then second entry. And so if that fails, that's going to be a failure. It's probably going to trap people. And then notice this one. I marked this red. This is a little different. Normally I would tell you skip an inside bar, but it's right off the key entry point, and it is a first entry. And so when it breaks below that, that's a second entry, and it's like 3 ticks. You'd want to put your safety stop above this little 2-bar matching high. So that's going to add a couple of ticks to it. The high there is 0475, and the high here is, so you'd have to add 3 more ticks to this 3 ticks. So it's still only 6 ticks. You can still get in there on the 8-tick stop. I like that trade. Just simply because it's very low risk, and it is right off the key entry point, and we're probably headed to the lows. So, and that turns out to be a pretty good move. You probably don't get anything but a scalp out of it, but depending on how you played it, you might have got more. And then we're just working sideways, but you do get a triple test here with enough room to get out. So maybe you take that. The only problem with this is it's right into the 12 o'clock hour. And you see what happens. A lot of times it'll just do just like that all the way till 1 o'clock, which it pretty much did. It started rallying a little bit before 1 o'clock, and then boom. And this thing, when did this thing actually start? It looks like it really kicked off. No, that's 1 o'clock. But this looks like somebody already knew the news here and started buying into it. It's really odd. And then boom. But you see what happens that last hour. That's why you don't want to trade that last hour, because you can't, if you'd have taken a short here, you're stuck. You can't ever get out of it, and then next thing you know, it's rallying against you, and you end up with a bigger loss than if you'd just stayed out, so or exited with, sometime during there as lowest point you could find. But it jumps up, it's a spike up, and then goes into a channel, and you really could start trading about just after 105. So just a first entry there, but now you get a second entry. There is room to scalp out there. I like that one. It finds a little resistance there, but keeps going higher. Backs up, tries to go higher once, twice. You don't want to be going short here though, because this trend line's still in play. And you actually get a break here and then a higher low. So this is there's a new high here. So that's a first entry, second entry. I'd wait for this to close. Don't enter that on a engulfing bar. Wait for this to close, and I like going long there. We get a close outside that trend, a couple of legs up, and then we're just working sideways again. There's no long setups here, and you don't want to go short, so just sit tight. And it breaks higher and does the same thing. And finally, you get a triple test here with a chance to go long. Turns out to be another good move. And then it turns down off the highs. And it gets back to the key entry point, and it can't get outside that channel, drops down. Finally, you get a break here, and you get a second entry short with enough room to get out. I like going short there. And you would think it maybe make a new low and then run to a new high to retest this high. But this thing sells off pretty good. So you might have got a runner here. There's a lower high here, but don't go short there. There's not room to get out, and I don't think there's room to get out there. I'm pretty sure it's only 5 ticks, so it could have bounced on you there. Drops on down, and that pretty much takes us into 230. It rallies right here. There is a higher low, but it's pretty close to the EMA. There was a failure right here, but it's after 230, so there just wasn't anything else after that. So not a lot of trades today, but it's because there's just nothing happening until the news came out, and then it rallies so hard, and you got to wait a little bit. So really, you only had from about 1 o'clock. You only had about an hour and a half to trade today, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 trades in that hour and a half. So, and if you did trade earlier, there were a couple here, but most of these green ones, I'd probably just stay out of them. So, anyway, we did make that new high on the retest. Will we go higher? We possibly could. Will we correct now? We possibly could. We just got to. The problem with the daily chart is it moves at snail's pace. You know, one bar, it doesn't take long to get 4 or 5 bars on a 2000 tick to give you an idea, but on a daily chart, you got to wait a whole week to get 4 or 5 bars. So it just, it moves at a snail's pace, so it just gives us a hint at what might be coming. And but you timing it, you just have to sit and wait and see what happens, because it's hard to know what's happening on the next day. You're only got an idea of what's happening. And on that daily chart, we did make a retest of the high. We are in the overbought territory, so it's time for a correction. But those kind of rallies can continue longer than you expect them to, and definitely continue longer than you can ride them out. So don't be trying to pick any tops or anything like that. And as long as this thing keeps rallying, if it gives us a good trend on the 2000 tick chart, trade it. If it's down, trade it down. If it's up, trade it up. If it's sideways, switch to range rules. And the market will show us each day what it's going to give us, and we take what it'll give us. Don't force things. Don't listen to the news. None of that stuff. Just follow the price action on the chart and go with what it tells you. And you'll be miles ahead of everybody else. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again tomorrow and wrap up the year tomorrow as far as chart lessons. But I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.